So we're getting some new news about new observations done of planetary formation, and this is really eye-opening because this will help us understand our understanding of how planets form. I don't know. Words are difficult. In planetary systems as well as in our solar system. Really nothing going on in the sky for this week for the sky report, but we have like a new record. I guess that's the best way to put it regarding the first aircraft investigation done on another planet outside of Earth. But anyways, yeah, we're going to be talking about that and more. This is Interstellar Insights. Okay, so I was talking about the observations of they are observations. Scratch that. Observations of planetary formation back in the intro regarding this new discovery. So this was done at the Atacama Large Millimeter / Submillimeter Array in San Pedro de Atacama, Chile. Of course, it's in the Atacama Desert. It's kind of like all those, I forgot what those called, the search for extraterrestrial life. I forgot what is, like the one in New Mexico, but like how they're all out in the middle of nowhere in like deserts, like New Mexico, Arizona, even Nevada. This is kind of like that, except it's in South America, in Chile, in the Atacama Desert there. But recently, this telescope was observing a protoplanetary disk around a star called PDS 70. Once again, that's horrible naming, absolutely horrible naming. I don't know why, we can't name things normally here in astronomy, but it just, it is. I don't know what the PDS, and I don't know why number 70 is represented. But anyways, PDS 70 is a relatively young star, and so it was, if you will, recently born. So it's kind of in the process of accumulating matter that will become planets within its planetary system. But right now, actually, it hosts 2 planets within its system. But new observations from ALMA, which is ALMA is the acronym for the avocado. Did I say avocado? I'm gonna be really mad if I said avocado. The Atacama Large Millimeter Array. That's the acronym for that. But these observations, revealed localized accumulation of dust. Matter that'll accumulate. Used to actually create planets. But yeah, this matter was discovered just outside of the planetary disks, or not disks. I'm getting it confused with accretion disk. I don't know why. Whenever I think of accumulation, I think of a black hole accretion disk. But no, outside of the planetary orbits is where this dust is going to be accumulating. And this is kind of a little bit eye-opening because this is suggesting that the planets that have already formed kind of contribute in their own ways in terms of accumulating new material that is going to be used for the next set of planets or next generation that'll be within the planetary system. However, right now, this research is gaining a little bit of traction. It's right now in the Astrophysical Journal letters. It's under an article called Asymmetric Dust Accumulation of the PDS 70 Disk revealed by Alma Rad-free observations. I believe it's Rad. I don't know. They named their observations weirdly. But you guys understand this research is being published, and a little bit of a big deal, bit of an eye-opener. But a little bit more into this research. Like I said, talking about earlier, planetary formation. This is probably the biggest use of this research, as it's being used to further explain planetary formation in planetary systems with exoplanets, as well as here in the solar system with our 8 planets and how Earth formed, or Jupiter or Neptune, or why there's an asteroid belt, things like that. But right now, also, right now, currently, dust rings are also being observed around PDS 70. Mainly, how let me rephrase that. The dust rings are being observed to understand basically how foreign planets interact with this kind of disk of protoplanetary matter, and how those two very different objects are going to interact with each other in interstellar space. But there's been some, I guess, some eye-opening anomalies. It's sort of like the whole what's a great word? Like something radical back then isn't radical now, or something like that. I feel like that might be the case with this, because usually the data for this, data accumulation, not data accumulation, dust accumulation usually forms these ring-shaped emissions around the planets. But the difference here is that PDS 70 is actually the first star to have already formed stars around it, or not stars, already formed planets. I'm a little bit tired, so that's why my words are a little bit off. Other than that, the rings, though, are noticeably thinner on PDS 70 compared to some of the other rings found in the past from previous observations, which is suggesting towards kind of a hypothesis or a theory that protoplanetary dust accumulates into more of a narrower region, and from there it'll form a localized clump, which will then become the planet. So yeah, planetary formation. I think this might be the first time I've actually talked about something like this regarding planetary formation. But yeah, very interesting stuff. More research is being done, further refine our understanding of how exactly the planets form. So yeah, that's all I've got for this topic. Let's go move over to this week's Sky Report. So we're moving on from talking about planetary formation and the Atacama Desert, actually the submillimeter array, or large millimeter array, and we're moving on to this week's Sky Report. So this week's actually really boring in terms of sky activity. In the past we've seen some cool things like the Turkey Nebula, the fireworks. It was the fire. I forgot. I think it was the fireworks galaxy that it was called back in the 4th of July. But we're not seeing much this week. But who knows? Maybe we'll get to see something next week over Christmas. But anyways, starting off on Wednesday, or I guess today really, because I'm definitely not filming this Tuesday night. The moon is going, well, actually before I start off, there really isn't anything going on in the night sky. So I've just got some things from this morning that were noteworthy. So this morning the moon passed point 9 degrees north of Mars at about 4 a.m. in the morning. And it was roughly 40 degrees high west in central Cancer. So not like the disease. The moon does not have cancer, but like Cancer the crab in the sky. And then before I move on, I forgot to say the thing, but all times assume that they are in Eastern Standard unless I specify myself. If you live in the Panhandle of Florida, and like the house next door is on Eastern, like that's no bueno. So go deal with it. But anyways, tomorrow, Thursday the 19th, the moon's actually not going to be out really in the early morning. So the Little Dipper is going to be highly visible, most of the stars, and it's going to be discernible to the naked eye. Actually no. JK, it's actually in the evening. I don't know why I thought it was in the morning. But like I said, going back to the Little Dipper, the Little Dipper is going to be swinging from west to east in the sky early on in the evening. And the Little Dipper itself, it's connected to Ursa Minor, or the the Little Bear, if you know. And then the connections made by Polaris, of course, that's the North Star. That's the only star that doesn't really change its position in the night sky. Based off changes in Earth's axis. Gradual, but that's a story for another episode. But yeah, Polaris will be in the night sky. Connecting Ursa Minor to the Little Dipper, so that'll be very visible. That's something to see on Thursday. And then finally, this Friday, Mercury is actually going to be about 50% lit today. This is why I got confused. I thought Thursday was going to be Mercury, but no. It can be, anyways, back to Mercury. Mercury can be observed in the early morning, like I said, 50% lit in the early morning sky before sunrise. And this is as Mercury is going to brighten to a magnitude of 0. Reminder that positive numbers are, they mean that there's less luminosity, whereas negative numbers mean there are higher levels of luminosity within a celestial object. So it's going to be brightening in terms of where it was. I forgot exactly where it was, but it was in the positives. However, besides Mercury in the night sky, if you look to the southeast, Arcturus will be also shining the star. It's going to be a little bit brighter than Mercury. It's going to be shining at a magnitude of negative 0.1. So it is going to be a little bit brighter. But those two objects are going to be in the night, not the night sky, the early morning sky on Friday. And that's pretty much it for this week. Nothing big happening, although I do hope big things happen come next week, since next week's Christmas. But besides that, I'll give you guys some times. So for tonight, sunset's going to be at 4:37 p.m. Moonrise is going to be at 8:09 p.m. and moonset's going to be at 10:17 a.m. Thursday, sunrise is going to be at 7:18 a.m. Sunset's going to be at 4:37 p.m. Moonrise is going to be at 9:16 p.m. and moonset's going to be at 10:42 a.m. The 20th is Friday. Sunrise is going to be at 7:18 a.m. Sunset's going to be at 4:38 p.m. Moonrise is going to be at 10:19 p.m. and moonset's going to be at 11:11 a.m., which is very fun to say. And the phase for this week, for this free day forecast, if you will, is going to be waning gibbous for the moon. So, yeah, nothing much happening this week in terms of night sky activity, but hopefully, something good happens, next week during Christmas. But with that being said, let's go talk about breaking records. Alrighty, so we're not starting off the second big talk of the town. Well, it's not talk of the town, but you know what I mean. The second big topic we're going to be talking about is regarding an aircraft investigation recently conducted by NASA, and this was the first one to occur outside of Earth on another planet. So that's why this one is particularly interesting. But anyways, right now at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, out in Pasadena in California, the JPL, they're currently launching this investigation, and the aircraft in question is NASA's Ingenuity Mars helicopter, and they are looking into the final flight, that led to the crash of this aircraft on Mars. So I guess a little bit of backstory, because before hearing about this news, I didn't know what Ingenuity was. So if I didn't know it, then who would know it, unless you're like some uber nerd, but I doubt it. So Ingenuity was a Mars helicopter designed to get aerial shots of Mars, and it was part of the Perseverance mission. So the Mars Perseverance rover in 2020 during COVID. I can't believe that was like the only big thing they got off in 2020 amidst the height of the pandemic. But it was basically strapped to the Perseverance rover when Perseverance landed on Mars in July of 2020, and then it made its maiden voyage flight in April 2021. Now, Ingenuity flying it was expected to be a challenge because of physics mainly, because planets have different gravities because gravities or weights based off of the force of gravity, and that multiplier increases the more mass an object has. Now, since Earth has a bigger mass than Mars, the gravitational field of Mars is going to be a little bit weaker. So it's going to be a little bit different flying a drone or even like a plane compared to on Earth because of the change of gravity. But because of that, the spacecraft weighed 4 pounds on Earth compared to Mars, where it weighed just a light 1.5 pounds. So that tells you everything. But they managed to get over this challenge because Ingenuity itself broke records for NASA, since it was like the first extra planetary, or no. It's not like the first thing. It just set a distance of travel, because it traveled up to 2,000 feet of Martian land at about 12 miles per hour. So that's like an extra planetary distance record. And then it reached the top altitude of about 79 feet on a different flight. So Ingenuity was working pretty well in Mars. However, I guess it's a disaster. Yeah, disaster strikes. As they say in a very cunning accent. Ingenuity on one of its flights was about 40 feet off, the Martian soil, where it was getting pictures of the Jezero crater in Mars, or not in Mars, on Mars. But at that moment, briefly, NASA lost contact with Perseverance, and in losing contact with Perseverance, NASA also lost contact with the Ingenuity helicopter. So when NASA reestablished contact with Perseverance, imagery from Ingenuity started coming in, which showed severe damage done onto the rotors of Ingenuity. But the investigators believe that the visual navigation system. So hold on. I think I'm getting a little too ahead. Let me backtrack. So this is right now during the current investigation of how Ingenuity crashed on the Martian surface. Yeah, I'm really going really fast right now. But they discovered that the visual navigation system was malfunctioning when Ingenuity crashed. Mainly because the way the visual navigation system works is it tracks the landscape beneath the helicopter to find a safe landing spot for Ingenuity. But the area over the Jezero crater that Ingenuity was flying over had these really featureless sand ripples that you couldn't really tell. But other than that, there weren't other land features that Ingenuity could go off of to make a visual navigation landing. So it led to Ingenuity crashing because it just couldn't differentiate very I'm just repeating myself. It couldn't differentiate between land features as there were too few, so it just looked kind of flat, even though it really wasn't. So that is kind of the official cause of destruction, I guess. Cause of destruction of the Ingenuity Mars helicopter is just a failure within the visual navigation system. So that's something breaking. Ingenuity broke record for travel on a planet, but also being the first otherworldly aircraft investigation conducted by NASA. So that's all I've got for this record-breaking topic. Let's go move over to this week's edition of Astronomy Trivia. So before we get into this week's question for Astronomy Trivia, let's go and take a look at what last week's question was. And I believe it was, what is the largest moon in the solar system? And I believe that a lot of people voted for Europe for some reason. But that's actually not true. It's actually Ganymede is the largest moon in the solar system. It's a little bit... first off, Ganymede is a moon of Jupiter. It's one of the Galilean moons that Galileo discovered back in the 1700s with his telescope. And, he did a lot of stuff with Jupiter because that's that's one of his biggest contributions is his work and discovery of Jupiter. But Ganymede is, if you want a size comparison, is larger than Mercury and Pluto, but it is slightly smaller than Mars. So that is pretty big. I mean, when it's bigger than the planet, it's something else. So yeah. But for this week's question, it's another moon related question. I'll just say that right now. But anyways, I guess I'll read it off. So your question for the week is, what moon in the solar system is known for having lakes of liquid methane? I'm going to read this again. What moon in the solar system is known for having lakes of liquid methane? I'll make a poll on YouTube and Spotify for respective viewers of each platform, and I'll reveal the answer to this question next week. Anyways, I guess it's time for me to close out this episode. All right, so next week, regular song and dance. There is going to be I'll talk about that later. This normal show is going to be on regular schedule. Even though it's Christmas, I guess it is posted on Christmas. Nope, never mind. Wait, actually, it's going to be a Christmas Day special, I guess, a Christmas gift, if you will. But I guess I have some updates to give because first off, we're now doing shorts. Yay! Clap, clap, clap. I don't know. But and because of Instagram, we're also running reels and shorts. Right now they're going to be from the bonus episode, mainly because a lot of the older episodes, they cover a lot more older things, astronomical news that's not relevant. But I'm also thinking of finding other, alternative, what's the best way to put this? Like alternate content besides clipping my podcast episodes. Maybe like explaining, doing a little bit of astronomical explanation or something like that. But we'll see. So I mean they are getting traction, so that's great. Great support. And yeah, I'll link the Instagram below, and it is in the description of this channel. So yeah, and more bonus episodes are going to be coming soon. It's that series has been on a hiatus for like a month, but we got two episodes released within the week. So hope that was a nice kind of treat for y'all. But yeah, that's all I've got. If you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe. It does mean a lot. Once we grow, so will the show. So that is going to be very, very helpful later on from you guys. And it doesn't take that much time. You just click a button and you're done. So yeah, but other than that, I think that's all I've got. So this is Michael signing off.